It's crazy what a difference 24 hours can make, right? We've gone from Arrowhead stating that suppressors and stealth was in a pretty good spot to now today, and man, how things have been turned upside down. Now, we knew there was an update coming to the game, but I spent this morning testing out those published changes, showing you the results and also the side-by-side comparisons so you can see just how much has changed, specifically when it comes to suppressed weapons. And trust me, you want to stick around because the changes are insane. If you want to help support the channel, you know what to do as we dive into the latest update and all those Helldiver changes. Alright, so first things first, the patch itself and of course those patch notes. For me on PC, the patch was 9.1 gigs in size to download, but once unpacked and installed, the Slim PC branch was still only 22.4 gigs in total size. Now, talking PCs and tech talk is not my thing, but overall it feels like the 9.1 gigs were there to replace and to overwrite existing files, as the total size really didn't change, and that's awesome news to begin with. And more to come, by the way, as we start off with the first of the changes here in the patch notes, specifically the optimizations to the M1000 Maxigun. And the notes here say that the muzzle flash has been adjusted to reduce photosensitivity issues. I tried to take an approach of let's test out the before and after, and so I grabbed Maxigun footage last night before the patch and today after the patch, so you can compare it and see it with your own eyes. So here's how the Maxigun looked last night. So this is prior to update 5.0.2. And now here's how it looks as of this morning after the adjustments were made. And finally, here they are again, but now side by side and actually slowed down by 50%. Overall, it looks like the randomness of the flashes has been completely removed, giving us a more consistent muzzle flash, along with the length of the flashes as they leave the barrel, which has obviously been reduced as well. Drop me a comment and let me know which you prefer, the before or the after, because admittedly, I'm not much of a Maxigun user, but there you go. Next up, and kind of going back to the PC install size I mentioned a moment ago, we got some pretty significant news about the default PC build going forward. Here's what they said. And finally, after weeks of your input and stress testing, we are ready to make the Slim PC build default for all players. We'll keep the larger version online for a short time to ensure a smooth transition for everyone, so you'll continue to have the option to switch back should you wish. Here's the key part. Once this transition has been completed, we'll look to sunset the large build permanently in the near future. Now, to me, this was a little vague. Smooth transition, sunset the large build. I mean, what could this all mean? So I reached out to the dev team to get you some answers, and the word is that once Arrowhead confirms that the Slim build is completely stable, it will be the only option moving forward, as the original 140 plus gig build will be completely sunsetted. But I know that everyone is most interested in the suppressors, stealth, and how that would tie into the Redacted Regiment War Bond, which will have gone live by the time I post this video. Now, we knew that suppressed weapons were essentially a dud prior to today. I mean, we've all seen the videos. And then, kind of out of the blue, Arrowhead delayed this War Bond release along with the update, possibly, I'm just speculating here, but possibly to change things up when it comes to how suppressed weapons actually function in-game. Here's what they said in the patch notes. Suppressors are now more effective. Intent is to make suppressors more valuable in stealth gameplay and attract less attention from enemies. Noise radius of firing suppressed weapons roughly reduced by 50%. Enemies' detection radius when being fired at but not being hit is reduced in some units. And they say general. Detection range of danger, basically being shot at and not being hit, reduced for enemies like Devastators, Berserkers, Spewers, Chargers, Impaler, and Watchers. This is a lot of internal dev word salad, basically to say the noise radius on suppressed weapons has now been cut roughly in half. I'm going to show you the testing in a moment. And when shooting at specific enemy types and missing, they will not go into the enraged state. These include Devastators, Berserkers, Spewers, Chargers, Impalers, and Watchers. And if I remember correctly, the first draft of these patch notes early this morning had the Watchers listed as something else, but has since been edited. Anyways, I set about testing out the suppressors because if they're still busted, Redacted Regiment is toast. And I'm here to report that at least in my limited test, I performed on a trooper using the M7S ODST SMG. These things are indeed working. Check this out as I test out the ranges on this trooper, and keep in the back of your mind, the original go, no-go stealth range prior to today was right around 33 meters. And once you went inside that range, even when using the suppressed weapons, these enemy types would still detect you. So here we go, and let's see how close in to this trooper we can get before he goes into the alerted state. All right, here we go. I'm gonna attempt to do this on the fly and live. There's 33 meters. Trooper, no issues. Oh, but he does pick up the Senator. What the hell's going on with my character? Sorry about that. Let's go ahead and swap it over. Let me actually get into a different range here. Let's see if I can get a little bit closer into this trooper, and we'll try it again with the ODST SMG. There's 32 meters. Nothing, so we're already a meter better than the last test. 31 meters. Again, no issues there. Let's keep crawling in. 30 meters. All right, so far so good. 29 meters. And he's looking right at us. I am wearing the scout armor, by the way. 28 meters. No issues. All right, I'm liking this so far. Let me see if I can get a little closer. What is that? Is that 27 I'm shooting at? There's 26. Still nothing. Oh. Damn it. There's the problem with the cover. Okay, let me reposition here. Let's try this. Damn it. Get on your belly. 25. All right, nothing. 24. Let's try this. Wow, we're almost 10 meters better than the last test. Let me back up a little bit. There we go. 23-ish, 22, somewhere in there. 21, 22. Okay. I'm out of cover. I'm probably going to need to reposition. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Okay, I've repositioned now. Let me climb in just a little bit closer. That's 19. Let me back up. 20. So we're into 20 meters now. 21. All right, it keeps changing a little bit because I think it's off the muzzle of the barrel. There's 20, 19, somewhere in there. Still hasn't picked us up. Let's keep going. Ideally, if it's half, is what the patch notes said. And we're talking 33 meters was on the last one. We should be in then somewhere at what? 16 and a half? Somewhere around 16 before he picks us up. Right now we're at 17, 18, excuse me. 17, 16. Ooh, okay. He's really close now. I can't actually sight him. Let me crawl over here. So he's at 15 now. That. 16 meters. It's going to change a little bit because as I point up to the sky, the barrel of my gun changes. There's 15 meters. 14, he picks us up. There you go, 14 meters. From 33 meters into 14 meters. That is a massive, massive change. It looks like suppressors are working. Okay, now that we've seen that, how about the other side of what the patch notes said about how if you shoot at specific enemy types, they won't get alerted? Well, I set about trying this same type of test out on a Berserker because they are one of the enemy types specifically listed in the patch notes. How close in could we get while purposely missing shots with the ODST SMG before these things were set into the alerted state? Also, pay close attention to the trooper who's within a meter or so of the Berserker manning his post on the turret. All right, check this out. Okay, so we're already well within that 33-meter barrier, 127. Let's keep pushing our luck here. What are we at now? 25? Let me back it up a little bit. There you go. I've got to tell you, everybody, this is significantly different than the last time I tested this prior to today's update. Anything larger than a trooper, as soon as you fired a missed shot at them, even outside of 33 meters, they immediately just went either just full-on alerted or actually more like enraged and would come out just right after you. Here we are at 23 meters. Berserker still hasn't flinched. 22. 20. We're at 20. Well, let me back it up. 21. Here we go. 20. Still nothing. Look at the trooper on the left, too, man. He is just unflinching over there on that turret. 19 meters? Okay. All right. We got a reaction out of him there. All right, so I'd say somewhere around 19 to 20 meters, which is significantly different than the last time we saw Berserkers. So, yeah, another, I think, massive change confirmed here, at least from this testing. Berserkers are way different than what I remember prior. All right, so there's the testing results. You got to see with your own eyes. What's the verdict? Well, for me, I guess the M1000 Maxigun visual change is a positive question mark. Personally, I'd like to see even more visual clarity when firing this weapon outside of me having to use a mod, but I guess it is a step in the right direction. The move to only having the slim version available for PC owners is interesting, but I've got to say the massive net positive in this patch is how they've made suppressors somehow more impactful by cutting the sound profile range roughly in half. Now, we're going to have to wait until the changes are data mined and posted to the Helldivers wiki and the other various sites before we'll know if there were other internal changes to suppressed weapons. Like, for example, did they add in even more drag or damage to distance drop-off? But from what I was able to see and test on both the Automaton Trooper and, right here, the Berserker, suppressed weapons are finally making the difference we as players were wanting, by the way, just in time for the Redacted Regiment Warbond. But here's where you now get to post your thoughts and feedback on today's update. Drop me a comment about your experiences with the suppressed weapons now that Arrowhead has changed their sound profiles. Were you seeing much the same as me, or just something completely different? Any and all feedback is greatly appreciated. Also, remember to hit subscribe and to ring the notifications bell to receive my future upload alerts. Watch for my new Helldivers Commando gameplay mode video going up in a little bit here on the channel. And before I go, I'd like to throw a massive thanks out there to all of our dedicated channel members. Until the next one, this is LtBuzzLitebeer, signing off.